Ladies and gentlemen, in today's world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, the opinions of others, and even our own doubts can pull us away from the path we know we must walk. But I want to remind you today, true success begins with a simple but powerful principle. Focus on yourself. Ignore distractions and succeed. Success begins with a powerful and often overlooked concept, self-awareness. When you are truly aware of who you are and what you desire, you lay a solid foundation for everything you will achieve in life. Without this awareness, it becomes easy to get lost in the noise of the world, following paths that others have set, chasing dreams that aren't truly your own, or constantly questioning your purpose. It's like trying to drive somewhere without knowing your destination. You might move, but you'll never get where you want to go. The journey to self-awareness starts with understanding your values, your passions, and the unique qualities that define you. Ask yourself, what do I value most? What makes me excited to get out of bed every morning? These questions may seem simple, but they are profound. When you gain clarity on your core values, your sense of purpose strengthens, and with that clarity comes the ability to filter out distractions that do not serve your greater purpose. Imagine you are clear on your values and goals. Suddenly you have a map for your life, and the distractions that once seemed so compelling begin to lose their power. Self-awareness gives you the ability to focus on what truly matters to you rather than getting sidetracked by fleeting trends or external pressures. When you focus on your own aspirations, distractions become mere noise that fades into the background. One of the greatest barriers to staying focused on your true path is the constant barrage of external influences, people, social media, society's expectations. To protect your energy and your time, it's crucial to develop the ability to set boundaries. Setting boundaries means saying no to things that drain your energy, derail your focus, or misalign with your values. Many of us are conditioned to say yes to everything, whether it's attending social events, taking on extra work, or responding to every notification. But each time you say yes to something that isn't aligned with your purpose, you are essentially saying no to your own growth and success. Boundaries are your shield. They allow you to safeguard your time and energy, ensuring that you stay focused on your goals. This might mean saying no to certain opportunities, friendships, or distractions, no matter how tempting they may seem. It might feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to being constantly available to others. But setting boundaries is an act of self-respect. When you learn to say no to distractions, you are saying yes to your future. In a world full of external noise, there is another challenge that we all face: comparison. With the rise of social media, we are constantly exposed to the highlights of others' lives. People post their successes, their vacations, their promotions, their seemingly perfect relationships, and it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing your progress to theirs. But here's the truth: comparison is the thief of joy. When you compare yourself to others, you lose sight of your own journey. You start to feel inadequate or impatient, wishing you had what they have or achieved what they have achieved. But the reality is that their journey is different from yours, and so is your path. Success isn't about keeping up with others, it's about focusing on your own progress, your own journey. Celebrate the small wins, the incremental steps forward. Focus on how far you've come rather than where others are. Your progress is unique, and that's something to be proud of. Embrace your individuality and trust that you're on the right path, your path. While motivation can be a powerful force, it is fleeting. One day you might feel fired up and ready to take on the world, and the next day you might find yourself lacking energy or enthusiasm. Motivation can come and go, but discipline is what carries you through when the initial excitement fades. Discipline is the ability to continue working toward your goals even when you don't feel like it. It's about developing daily habits that support your success and committing to those habits even when motivation isn't there to push you. When you cultivate discipline, you create momentum. You begin to realize that success is not about waiting for the perfect moment or the right amount of motivation. It's about taking consistent action regardless of how you feel in the moment. The small, disciplined actions you take every day compound over time, leading to the success you desire. Along with discipline, time management plays a pivotal role in staying focused. How you spend your time reflects your priorities. If you're constantly distracted or spending time on things that don't align with your goals, you'll find it difficult to make progress. Effective time management is about making intentional decisions on how to use your most valuable resource, time. It's about creating a daily routine that prioritizes your goals and protects your time from unnecessary distractions. Take a moment to reflect on how you're spending your time. Are you allowing distractions to pull you away from what matters most? Are you investing your time in activities that bring you closer to your goals? Successful people are deliberate with their time. They know that every minute counts, and they invest that time in their growth, their relationships, and their passions. Success is a journey, not a destination, and along the way you will face challenges. But in those challenges lies the power of patience. So often we want results right away, and when we don't see immediate progress, we get discouraged. But patience is a cornerstone of success. It's understanding that significant achievements take time and that every step, even the setbacks, are part of the learning process. Patience doesn't mean passivity. It means continuing to work diligently even when you don't see instant results. It means trusting the process and having faith that your efforts will eventually pay off, even if it takes longer than you initially anticipated. Remember, growth is a gradual process, and true success is built over time with consistency and persistence. In this pursuit of success, we must also embrace progress over perfection. Perfection can be a trap. It can paralyze you, preventing you from moving forward because you're constantly waiting for things to be just right. Instead, focus on taking action and making progress even if it's not perfect. Every small step forward brings you closer to your goals. Don't let perfectionism hold you back. It's better to make imperfect progress than to be stuck in the cycle of never starting. As you focus on your personal growth and success, remember the importance of self-care. You cannot pour from an empty cup. When you take care of yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally, you are better equipped to handle challenges and stay focused on your goals. Self-care isn't just about rest. It's about nurturing your mind and body so that you can operate at your highest potential. Conclusion: success is not something that happens by accident. It requires a conscious effort to focus on yourself, ignore distractions, and take consistent, disciplined action toward your goals. The road may not always be smooth, and there will always be distractions trying to pull you away from your path. But if you stay true to your values, protect your time, and remain patient, success will follow. Focus on yourself, and the world will open up to you. Distractions are an inevitable part of life, but what distinguishes those who succeed from those who don't is how well they can handle these distractions and stay focused on their goals. The world around us is full of temptations, pressures, and demands on our attention. From notifications on our phones to the expectations of others, it can often feel like there is a constant pull in many directions. However, learning to set boundaries is a key skill in mastering your focus and ensuring that you stay on track toward achieving your ambitions. The ability to establish clear boundaries in your life allows you to protect your energy, time, and mental space, and in doing so, you create an environment where success becomes inevitable. At the heart of setting boundaries is the concept of self-respect. Many people struggle with saying no, especially in a world where we're taught to be constantly available and accommodating. But the truth is that saying yes to everything often means saying no to the things that truly matter. If you constantly say yes to requests, invitations, or distractions that do not align with your goals, you will end up spreading yourself too thin. This not only affects your productivity, but also your mental and emotional well-being. Saying no might feel uncomfortable at first, but over time it becomes easier and more natural as you realize that by saying no to some things, you are saying yes to your greater purpose. When you begin to set boundaries, you protect your time, your most valuable asset. Time is the one resource that we can never get back. The moment you realize the importance of protecting your time, you start to prioritize what is most important to you. The first step is to recognize what is draining your time and energy. Often this comes in the form of relationships, work commitments, or habits that don't serve your goals. By acknowledging where your time is going, you can then make intentional decisions about how you want to spend it. Rather than reacting to the demands of others, you take control and create space for the things that align with your long-term vision. Setting boundaries also involves being clear about your priorities. When you understand what truly matters to you, it becomes much easier to filter out distractions. For example, if one of your goals is to improve your health, then making time for exercise or meal planning becomes a non-negotiable. If you're working on advancing your career, then spending time on professional development, networking, or skill building becomes essential. Boundaries ensure that you don't get sidetracked by things that seem urgent in the moment, but don't contribute to your greater objectives. The challenge with distractions is that they often feel urgent. Whether it's a friend asking for help, a phone call, or an unexpected task at work, many distractions seem like they demand immediate attention. However, it's important to recognize that not every distraction is truly urgent. In fact, many of the things that steal our attention are simply a result of us not being clear about our boundaries. By setting boundaries, you begin to recognize what is truly worth your time and what isn't. Not every phone call needs to be answered. Not every invitation needs to be accepted. And not every moment needs to be filled with activity. Instead, you begin to operate from a place of intention, choosing what aligns with your goals and purpose rather than reacting to every passing distraction. One of the most effective ways to set boundaries is by being proactive rather than reactive. This means thinking ahead and determining in advance what you will and won't tolerate. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day hustle and fall into the habit of saying yes to everything. But if you start each day with clarity about your priorities and boundaries, you'll be much better equipped to stay focused. Proactively managing your time and energy helps you prevent distractions before they even arise, rather than scrambling to protect your time when an unexpected demand comes up. In addition to setting boundaries with others, it's also important to establish boundaries with yourself. One of the biggest distractions we face is often our own mind. Negative self-talk, procrastination, and self-doubt can be powerful forces that keep us from moving forward. Setting boundaries with yourself means recognizing these internal distractions and learning how to manage them. It's about creating a mindset that empowers you to stay focused on your goals rather than being bogged down by self-imposed limitations. It also means creating healthy habits that support your focus, such as a consistent morning routine, regular breaks, and time for rest and rejuvenation. Learning to say no can also mean saying no to the expectations of others. Many people struggle with the pressure to meet others' demands, especially when it comes to family, friends, or colleagues. The fear of disappointing others or feeling guilty about not being able to help can lead to burnout and resentment. However, it's essential to realize that your success is your responsibility. While it's important to be kind and supportive, you cannot pour from an empty cup. By saying no to certain obligations, you're not being selfish. You're taking care of yourself and protecting your ability to show up fully for the things that truly matter. You cannot achieve your own goals if you are constantly giving away your energy to others' agendas. Setting boundaries also teaches others how to treat you. When you are clear about your limits and communicate them effectively, you set the tone for how you expect to be treated. This not only increases your own sense of control, but also garners respect from those around you. People begin to understand that your time is valuable and they will learn to honor your boundaries. In fact, setting clear boundaries can improve your relationships because it fosters mutual respect and understanding. There will inevitably be moments when you slip up or feel tempted to let your boundaries slide. That's okay. The key is to stay consistent and to gently remind yourself why your boundaries matter. Every time you protect your time, energy, and focus, you take one step closer to your goals. Every time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you say yes to your future. It may be challenging at first, but over time you'll find that setting and maintaining boundaries becomes second nature. And as you create space for what truly matters, you'll find that success comes more naturally because you've cleared the path for it. Setting boundaries is about choosing your own path, being intentional with your time, and protecting the energy you need to achieve your greatest potential. It's about being proactive in designing your life and creating an environment that nurtures your success. When you learn to say no to distractions, you free up the time and energy to say yes to your dreams. In our fast-paced world, one of the most significant challenges we face is the constant pressure of comparison. It's an ever-present force that can drain our confidence, slow down our progress, and ultimately prevent us from realizing our full potential. From social media to peer pressure, the tendency to compare ourselves to others is a daily battle. But here's the reality. Comparison doesn't serve us. It only detracts from our journey. The key to overcoming this struggle lies in the understanding that your path is unique and that the only person you need to compete with is yourself. When you stop comparing your progress to others, you open the door to personal growth and success that is authentic to you. First, it's essential to recognize that the most common form of comparison comes from the outside world. We live in an era where people constantly display their best moments, successes, and highlight reels on social media. It's easy to look at someone else's life and think they've got it all together, or that their accomplishments are far superior to yours. But what's often hidden behind those seemingly perfect moments are struggles, failures, and challenges that nobody shares with the world. The truth is that everyone has their own set of hurdles, setbacks, and obstacles. What you see on the surface is only a fraction of someone's reality. When you start comparing your behind the scenes with someone else's highlight reel, you're setting yourself up for unnecessary dissatisfaction and frustration. The real trap of comparison is that it can cause you to lose sight of your own progress. When you constantly compare yourself to others, you begin to measure your worth based on someone else's timeline, not your own. You may feel that you haven't reached your goals fast enough or that you're not as far along as others, but the truth is that success isn't linear. There's no one-size-fits-all formula for achieving greatness. Some people reach their goals quickly while others take longer. Success is subjective, and your journey is yours to define. Your timeline is not their timeline. And comparing your pace to someone else's only detracts from the joy of your own journey. When you choose to focus on your own growth, you begin to acknowledge the value of progress over perfection. Perfectionism is a killer of productivity. It often leads to procrastination, self-doubt, and the crippling fear of not measuring up. Instead of comparing yourself to others, aim for continuous improvement. Celebrate the small wins along the way, no matter how minor they may seem. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a sign of growth. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Success is built on the foundation of small, steady improvements over time. By focusing on progress rather than perfection, you release the pressure of constantly trying to measure up to others' expectations or standards. Another important aspect of overcoming comparison is learning to embrace your individuality. No one else has your unique combination of skills, experiences, and perspectives. Your journey is shaped by your own set of circumstances, and your path to success will be unlike anyone else's. When you stop comparing yourself to others, you start to recognize and appreciate the things that make you stand out. This realization empowers you to leverage your uniqueness rather than trying to conform to someone else's version of success. Understanding that your story is different and special allows you to stop looking outward for validation and start looking inward for strength. When you shift your focus from comparison to self-improvement, you also begin to cultivate a sense of gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to comparison because it shifts your mindset from what you lack to what you already have. Instead of focusing on what others have achieved, take time to reflect on your own accomplishments. Recognize how far you've come and celebrate your journey, no matter where you are in the process. When you learn to be grateful for your own progress, you foster a positive mindset that propels you forward. Gratitude helps you stay grounded, focused, and motivated to continue working toward your goals. Moreover, comparison can often lead to a feeling of inadequacy. When we look at others' success and measure our own progress against it, it's easy to feel like we're falling short. But this feeling of inadequacy is an illusion. It stems from the belief that success is a fixed destination, when in reality, success is a continuous journey. There's always more to learn, more to accomplish, and new milestones to reach. Just because someone else has achieved something doesn't mean you're any less capable of achieving it yourself. In fact, their success can serve as inspiration for your own journey. Rather than feeling jealous or discouraged, view others' accomplishments as proof that success is possible and that it's attainable for you as well. Use their success to fuel your own motivation, not to diminish your self-worth. At the same time, comparing yourself to others can create an unhealthy sense of competition. It's important to understand that life is not a race. Everyone's path is different, and we all have different strengths and weaknesses. The idea that success is a zero-sum game, where someone else's success takes away from your own, only leads to unnecessary stress and resentment. There is more than enough success to go around. When you shift your mindset from competition to collaboration, you begin to see others not as threats, but as fellow travelers on the same journey. Celebrate the successes of others and use their achievements as reminders that you too can reach your goals. The process of letting go of comparison allows you to develop a stronger sense of self-worth. When you stop measuring your value based on external achievements or the success of others, you begin to recognize that your worth is intrinsic. You are valuable simply because you exist, not because of what you've accomplished or how you stack up against others. This sense of self-worth is empowering because it allows you to pursue your goals without the fear of failure or the need for external validation. You become more confident in your decisions, more resilient in the face of setbacks, and more focused on your personal growth. The road to success is often filled with ups and downs, and there will be times when you feel discouraged or uncertain. However, the key is to keep moving forward, focusing on your own progress and never letting comparison rob you of your confidence. The journey to success is not about keeping up with others. It's about staying true to your own vision, trusting your unique path, and celebrating every step you take along the way. By embracing your individuality, focusing on your own growth, and rejecting the trap of comparison, you will unlock the full potential of your life and achieve success that is authentic to you. The ability to focus on your own progress without letting the opinions or judgment of others sway you is one of the most important skills you can cultivate for personal success. When you start to build a life based on your values, dreams, and passions, it becomes easier to ignore the distractions that others create around you. People will always have their own perspectives on what you should or shouldn't do, but you have to understand that their opinions are not the compass that should guide your journey. You are the one who has to live with your choices, not them. Therefore, you must embrace the idea of following your own path and not being overly influenced by others' opinions. When you make this shift, you open the door to true freedom, because you're no longer tethered to external validation. For most of our lives, we are conditioned to care about the approval of others. From childhood, we are taught to seek approval from parents, teachers, and peers. As we grow older, this instinct continues to follow us into adulthood, influencing the way we make decisions and the paths we choose. But this external validation can be limiting. It can force you to make decisions based on what others expect rather than what truly aligns with your passions and purpose. When you're constantly seeking validation, you spend more time living up to others' expectations than truly discovering who you are and what you truly want. The need for validation can create a cycle of self-doubt and insecurity, making it harder to take bold steps toward your goals. The key is to recognize that the only approval you need is your own. When you choose to focus on your own journey, you begin to operate from a place of inner confidence. You stop looking outward for reassurance and instead find the strength within yourself to trust your decisions. This doesn't mean that you completely disregard feedback or advice from others, but it does mean that you no longer let the opinions of others dictate your course of action. You learn to trust your instincts and make decisions that feel authentic to you, even if they might not align with what others expect. This kind of self-assurance enables you to take risks, try new things, and push past your comfort zone because you're no longer afraid of failure or judgment. You understand that your journey is unique and that each step you take is part of your own personal growth. The process of focusing on your own progress also involves developing the ability to filter out distractions. Distractions come in many forms: the opinions of others, negative news cycles, societal pressures, or the overwhelming noise of daily life. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in external distractions, which can cause you to lose sight of what truly matters. People will constantly try to pull your attention in different directions, whether it's through social media, the news, or even unsolicited advice. The challenge is to learn how to set boundaries and protect your energy. When you make the conscious choice to prioritize your own journey, you are able to block out the noise and focus on the actions that will help you move forward. At the core of focusing on your own progress is the commitment to continual growth. Progress is not just about achieving a specific goal. It's about becoming a better version of yourself each day. The most successful people in the world don't focus on competing with others. Instead, they focus on becoming the best version of themselves. Every day is an opportunity to learn, grow, and improve. Whether it's through reading, learning new skills, or reflecting on your experiences, personal growth is a never-ending process. By focusing on your progress, you create a mindset that values learning and self-improvement over the pursuit of perfection. You stop comparing your beginning to someone else's middle and instead focus on your own journey. The key is to embrace growth as a lifelong endeavor rather than seeing success as a destination. Another important aspect of focusing on your own progress is the ability to practice self-compassion. We often treat ourselves more harshly than we would treat others, holding ourselves to impossibly high standards. When you focus on your progress, you begin to understand that setbacks and failures are part of the process. They are not indicators of your worth or potential, but rather opportunities for learning. Being kind to yourself allows you to stay motivated even when things don't go as planned. Instead of beating yourself up for mistakes or delays, you shift your mindset to one of resilience. You recognize that every step, whether forward or backward, is a valuable part of your growth. By being compassionate with yourself, you maintain the emotional strength to continue moving forward, no matter how difficult the journey may seem. Focusing on your progress also means recognizing the power of consistency. Success rarely comes overnight. It's the result of small, consistent actions taken over time. When you focus on your own progress, you understand that every effort, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. Whether it's spending 30 minutes a day working toward a goal or making small adjustments in your daily routine, these consistent actions add up over time. The key to success is not necessarily in taking giant leaps, but in the ability to stay consistent in your efforts. Over time, these consistent actions compound, and you'll look back and realize how far you've come. Focusing on your progress allows you to take the long view of success and understand that it's the small, consistent steps that lead to big results. When you focus on your progress, you also begin to develop a deeper sense of gratitude. You start to appreciate how far you've come and recognize the value of the experiences and lessons you've gained along the way. Gratitude helps you stay grounded and focused on what you've already accomplished, rather than getting caught up in what you haven't yet achieved. It's easy to get discouraged by the distance between where you are and where you want to be. But gratitude shifts your perspective. By acknowledging your progress, no matter how small, you cultivate a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. Gratitude helps you maintain motivation and keeps you connected to the present moment, allowing you to enjoy the journey rather than solely focusing on the end result. In the end, focusing on your progress and ignoring the distractions around you is a practice of self-discipline, confidence, and perseverance. It requires you to commit to your personal growth, trust in your own path, and have the courage to continue despite the external noise. The journey may not always be easy, but it is always worth it when you stay focused on your own progress. By doing so, you empower yourself to achieve success on your own terms, creating a life that reflects your values, aspirations, and unique potential. The more you focus on your progress, the less you will be distracted by the opinions of others, and the more you will be able to create a life that is truly fulfilling and aligned with your deepest desires. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. We live in an age where constant notifications, social media updates, and the opinions of others compete for our attention on a daily basis. It's easy to become sidetracked by what's happening around us, to feel overwhelmed by the noise, and to lose sight of our own goals. The key to overcoming this barrage of distractions is learning how to stay focused on your own path. When you focus on yourself and your goals, you shift your energy and attention away from external interruptions, allowing you to stay on track and move steadily towards success. By ignoring distractions, you are empowering yourself to succeed and create the life you truly desire. One of the biggest distractions we face is the influence of other people's opinions. From family members and friends to strangers on social media, everyone seems to have something to say about what we should or shouldn't be doing. These external voices can easily derail our progress if we allow them to. However, it's essential to recognize that other people's opinions are not your reality. Just because someone tells you that something isn't possible or that you should take a different path doesn't mean that their advice is valid for your life. You are the one who knows what is best for you, and you are the one who has to live with the decisions you make. By learning to ignore the distractions of others' opinions, you free yourself from the burden of trying to meet everyone else's expectations. This sense of freedom allows you to stay focused on your own goals and work toward creating the life you envision. Another major distraction comes in the form of comparison. In an era where social media is king, it's easy to look at someone else's life and feel as though you're falling behind. It's easy to think that everyone else is achieving more, moving faster, or living a better life. But this kind of comparison is not only unhealthy, it's unproductive. Everyone's journey is unique, and comparing your progress to someone else's only robs you of your joy and motivation. Instead of looking to others for validation, focus on your own progress. Celebrate the small victories and recognize the effort you're putting in each day. By focusing on your own path, you stop wasting energy on comparisons and start using that energy to improve yourself and move closer to your goals. This shift in focus is one of the most powerful ways to silence distractions and create momentum in your life. Moreover, distractions often come in the form of our own negative self-talk. It's easy to get caught up in doubts, fears, and insecurities that keep us from taking action. We convince ourselves that we're not good enough or that we don't have what it takes to succeed. These self-imposed distractions are just as detrimental as external ones because they prevent us from moving forward. The key to overcoming this kind of distraction is to challenge your negative thoughts and replace them with empowering beliefs. Instead of telling yourself that you can't do something, remind yourself that you are capable of achieving whatever you set your mind to. By shifting your mindset and focusing on positive affirmations, you can block out the distractions of doubt and fear, allowing you to move forward with confidence and determination. In addition to external distractions and internal negativity, we are also frequently distracted by the constant need for instant gratification. In a world of smartphones, streaming services, and fast food, we've become accustomed to getting what we want when we want it. However, this desire for immediate rewards can actually hinder long-term success. Success requires patience, perseverance, and the ability to delay gratification. When you focus on your goals and ignore the temptation of quick fixes or shortcuts, you allow yourself the time and space to build something truly meaningful. Instead of chasing after the next instant pleasure, you invest your time and energy into long-term growth, which is the key to lasting success. By learning to embrace delayed gratification and stay focused on your long-term objectives, you position yourself to achieve your dreams in a more fulfilling and sustainable way. Another powerful way to ignore distractions and stay focused is by creating boundaries. In today's hyper-connected world, it's easy to become overwhelmed by constant messages, emails, and calls. To protect your focus, it's important to set boundaries around your time and energy. This could mean setting aside specific times of the day to check your emails or social media, turning off notifications during work or study sessions, or telling people when you need uninterrupted time to focus. By creating these boundaries, you make it easier to stay focused on the task at hand and prevent distractions from pulling you away from your goals. It's a way of respecting your own time and prioritizing your progress over the distractions that vie for your attention. Furthermore, ignoring distractions requires a level of discipline and self-control. It's easy to give in to temptation when distractions are readily available, but true success is built on the ability to say no to things that don't align with your goals. This might mean saying no to unnecessary meetings, avoiding social media during work hours, or turning down invitations that would take time away from your personal projects. Discipline is about being able to recognize what's important and staying committed to your goals, even when distractions try to pull you off course. The more you practice discipline, the easier it becomes to ignore distractions and stay focused on what matters most. The importance of staying focused also lies in the clarity it brings to your vision. When you allow distractions to take over, it's easy to lose sight of why you started in the first place. Distractions cloud your thinking and can make you feel unsure about your purpose. But when you remain focused on your goals, you keep your vision clear and stay connected to your deeper motivations. This sense of clarity acts as a guide, helping you make decisions that align with your ultimate goals. It also helps you recognize when something or someone is taking you away from your path, so you can quickly course correct and stay on track. In conclusion, focusing on yourself and ignoring distractions is one of the most effective strategies for achieving success. By learning to block out the opinions of others, stop comparing yourself to others, overcome self-doubt, resist the lure of instant gratification, and create clear boundaries, you free yourself from the distractions that hold you back. This ability to stay focused not only helps you make consistent progress, but also allows you to create a life that is aligned with your values and aspirations. The path to success is not easy, and distractions will always be present. But by committing to focusing on yourself, you give yourself the best chance to succeed and create the life you truly desire. To succeed in life, one must understand the power of persistence and the role consistency plays in making progress. Success is not a result of talent or luck alone. It's the outcome of consistent effort over time. When you commit to showing up every day, no matter how small the action, you are building a foundation for future success. The road to achievement is rarely smooth, and the moments when we face difficulties or discouragement often test our resolve. However, the key to making progress lies in the ability to stay consistent even when the initial excitement fades and obstacles appear. The practice of consistency is what sets the successful apart from those who fall short of their goals. It is through persistent action, step by step, that we build momentum, create lasting habits, and ultimately achieve our dreams. When you start a new venture or set a goal, it's easy to feel motivated and energized. The excitement of embarking on something new drives you to take bold actions and work hard. However, motivation can wane over time. The initial burst of energy fades and the routine becomes monotonous. This is when many people give up because they expect success to come quickly, or they become discouraged when progress seems slow. This is where consistency plays its vital role. Success is often the result of doing the same thing repeatedly, day in and day out, regardless of whether you feel motivated. Consistency is about showing up even when you don't feel like it, even when the progress feels slow or non-existent. It's about putting in the work regardless of the circumstances, because you understand that each effort, no matter how small, is taking you one step closer to your goal. Building consistency starts with forming habits. Habits are the building blocks of success because they shape the way you spend your time and energy. Once a habit is formed, it becomes automatic, making it easier to continue with your efforts. Whether it's waking up early to work on your personal goals, dedicating time to study, or exercising regularly, Habits allow you to make steady progress without having to rely on willpower or motivation every single time. The beauty of consistency lies in its simplicity. It's the small, repeated actions that compound over time and create meaningful results. The key to making consistency work for you is to start small and build from there. You don't need to make drastic changes or expect immediate results. Instead, focus on small actions that you can sustain over time. Over time, these small actions will add up to major accomplishments. One of the most powerful aspects of consistency is that it breeds confidence. Every time you stick to your plan and complete an action, you prove to yourself that you are capable of achieving your goals. This boosts your self-belief and strengthens your resolve. It's through consistency that you develop resilience because you learn to keep going despite setbacks, failures, or slow progress. Every successful person has faced challenges along the way, but their success is often a result of their ability to keep going when others would have quit. Consistency teaches you to trust the process and trust yourself. You learn that even when the results are not immediately visible, the work you're putting in is still valuable and necessary. You build confidence in your abilities and gain a deep sense of satisfaction from knowing that you are making progress, even when others may not see it. Consistency brings clarity. When you consistently put in the work, you start to see patterns and learn from your experiences. The more you practice a skill or work toward a goal, the clearer your path becomes. You begin to identify what works and what doesn't, and you make adjustments accordingly. The longer you stay consistent, the more refined your approach becomes. This clarity helps you make better decisions and move forward with greater confidence. As you see progress, even if it's slow, you gain a deeper understanding of the process and what is required to reach the next level. Clarity doesn't always come immediately, but over time, consistency helps you to see the bigger picture and align your actions with your long-term goals. It's also important to recognize that consistency doesn't mean perfection. You don't need to do everything perfectly every time. What matters is that you keep going, even on the days when things don't go as planned. Life is unpredictable, and there will always be obstacles, but consistent action allows you to keep moving forward despite these challenges. Mistakes are part of the process, and they provide valuable lessons that help you improve. Consistency means learning from these mistakes and continuing to take action even when things aren't perfect. It's about progress, not perfection. The key is to maintain a long-term perspective and understand that every day is an opportunity to get closer to your goals, even if it's just by a small margin. Another benefit of consistency is that it helps you build trust with others. Whether you're working in a team, building a business, or just trying to improve relationships, consistency is essential in gaining trust and respect. People are more likely to trust you if they see that you show up consistently and follow through on your commitments. When others see that you're dedicated to your goals and that you make progress every day, they begin to believe in your abilities. Trust is not built overnight. It's cultivated through consistent actions and reliability. The same principle applies to self-trust. By consistently following through on your promises to yourself, you build self-respect and confidence. You know that you can count on yourself to do the work, even when it's hard or inconvenient. In the long run, consistency leads to exponential growth. While short bursts of intense effort may yield quick results, it's the consistent, steady effort over time that leads to lasting success. It's like compounding interest. Small efforts compound over time to create significant results. One of the most famous examples of this is the story of the tortoise and the hare. The tortoise wins the race not because it's faster, but because it stays consistent. Every step it takes, no matter how slow, is one step closer to the finish line. This is the essence of consistency. It's the small incremental actions taken over time that lead to big achievements. Whether you're building a business, learning a new skill, or working toward personal growth, it's the consistent effort that makes all the difference. Success doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen by accident. It happens through consistent, focused effort over time. By committing to consistency, you can achieve anything you set your mind to. The secret to success lies not in extraordinary talent or intelligence, but in the ability to take consistent action day after day, even when things are tough. Success is a journey, and consistency is the fuel that keeps you moving forward. It's the small steps, repeated consistently, that will ultimately lead you to your destination. When you embrace consistency, you embrace the power to create lasting success in your life. In the pursuit of success, it's crucial to understand that distractions are one of the most significant obstacles you will face along the way. These distractions, whether external or internal, have the potential to divert your attention and energy from the most important tasks, ultimately hindering your progress. Therefore, mastering the art of focusing on yourself and ignoring distractions is a fundamental skill for achieving success. To focus on yourself means to be centered on your own goals, values, and progress, while not allowing the external noise or internal doubts to dictate your actions. Distractions come in many forms, but when you learn to eliminate or ignore them, you create the space necessary for personal growth and achievement. The first step in focusing on yourself is understanding what is most important to you. Many people struggle to prioritize their goals because they are constantly being pulled in different directions by the opinions, needs, or expectations of others. In today's connected world, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the constant barrage of messages, notifications, and demands from the outside world. However, when you truly understand your own values and long-term goals, you can block out the distractions and stay focused on your path. Knowing what is truly important to you creates a sense of purpose and direction. When you are clear about what you want to achieve, you develop a deeper commitment to your personal journey, which helps you resist the pull of distractions. External distractions often stem from the opinions and judgments of others. Whether it's family, friends, or coworkers, everyone seems to have an opinion on how you should live your life, what choices you should make, and what direction you should take. These opinions can easily distract you from your own vision. The key to ignoring such distractions is recognizing that other people's perspectives are not your reality. While constructive feedback is valuable, constantly trying to meet the expectations of others can lead you away from your true purpose. Instead, trust yourself and your instincts. When you focus on your own path and listen to your inner guidance, you align your actions with your authentic self rather than attempting to please others. People may not always understand your choices, but that's okay. What matters most is that you stay true to yourself and remain committed to your goals. Internal distractions such as self-doubt and fear are equally powerful forces that can keep you from focusing on your own progress. At times, you may question your ability to succeed or feel uncertain about your future. These negative thoughts can easily cloud your judgment and lead to procrastination or inaction. The key to overcoming internal distractions is to reframe your thinking. Rather than allowing fear to control you, use it as a motivator to take action. Recognize that self-doubt is a natural part of the process of growth. Every successful person has faced moments of uncertainty. But the difference lies in their ability to push through those doubts and keep moving forward. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, focus on what could go right and take action regardless of your fears. Another major distraction is the comparison trap. In today's world, it's easy to look at others and feel as though they are achieving more, moving faster, or living a better life. This constant comparison can make you feel inadequate and distract you from your own journey. However, it's essential to recognize that everyone's path is different. Comparing your progress to someone else's not only wastes your energy, but also takes away from the unique qualities and strengths that make you who you are. The key to overcoming comparison is to focus on your own growth and progress. Celebrate your own wins, no matter how small, and recognize that your journey is yours alone. Instead of measuring yourself against others, focus on your own development and what you can do each day to move closer to your goals. Technology is another significant source of distraction. In a world where we are constantly connected through social media, emails, and instant messaging, it's easy to lose track of time and become sidetracked by non-essential activities. While technology can be an incredible tool for communication and productivity, it can also be a major time waster. To combat this, it's important to set boundaries with technology. Allocate specific times for checking emails or social media, and during other times, turn off notifications to minimize distractions. By being intentional with your use of technology, you create the space to focus on what truly matters. This discipline will not only improve your productivity, but also help you preserve your mental energy, allowing you to stay focused on your long-term goals. One of the most powerful ways to maintain focus on yourself is to cultivate a mindset of discipline and self-control. This means learning how to say no to distractions and staying committed to your goals even when it's difficult. Discipline is not about being rigid or overly strict with yourself. It's about making choices that align with your long-term vision. It's about understanding that not every opportunity or distraction is worth your time and energy. When you are disciplined, you prioritize your goals over immediate gratification or short-term pleasures. This commitment to your own success allows you to ignore distractions and keep moving forward no matter what. Another aspect of focusing on yourself is learning how to manage your environment. Your surroundings play a significant role in your ability to stay focused. If you work in a cluttered, noisy environment, it can be difficult to concentrate on your goals. Therefore, creating a conducive environment for productivity is essential. This may mean organizing your workspace, setting aside time for uninterrupted focus, or seeking out quiet spaces where you can think and work without distraction. A clean, organized environment signals to your brain that it's time to focus and get to work. By controlling your environment, you remove many of the external distractions that can derail your progress. Focusing on yourself means learning to embrace the journey, not just the destination. It's easy to become fixated on the end goal and lose sight of the small steps that lead to it. However, success is built over time through consistent effort and learning. When you stay focused on your own growth, you appreciate the process and the lessons that come with it. Each day that you continue to focus on yourself and ignore distractions brings you one step closer to your goals. The journey itself becomes a source of motivation because you recognize that every effort, no matter how small, contributes to your long-term success. Focusing on yourself and ignoring distractions is a vital component of success. By understanding your goals, blocking out the noise of others' opinions, overcoming self-doubt, and managing your environment, you create the conditions necessary for personal growth and achievement. Success is not about avoiding distractions altogether, but about learning how to prioritize what matters most. With discipline, self-retreat, and a commitment to your own path, you can stay focused on your goals and ultimately achieve the success you desire. The journey may not always be easy, but by maintaining your focus, you ensure that every step you take brings you closer to the life you've envisioned. In our pursuit of personal growth and achievement, it's often easy to become discouraged by the slow pace of progress, especially when we're striving for long-term success. The path to success is rarely a straight line, and it's important to remember that the most valuable and impactful accomplishments in life are not those that happen quickly or easily. Rather, they are the ones that take time, persistence, and patience. It is through enduring the ups and downs of the journey that we build the resilience needed to achieve our ultimate goals. This is why it is so important to remind ourselves that we should never quit, for great things truly do take time. Success, fulfillment, and personal growth are all born from the consistent, sustained effort that compounds over time. When we start any new project, goal, or endeavor, we often do so with high hopes and enthusiasm. The excitement of the beginning phase can make us believe that the road ahead will be easy or that the results will come quickly. However, this initial enthusiasm can sometimes fade as we encounter obstacles, setbacks, or periods of slow progress. The reality is that success rarely comes overnight. And the process of reaching meaningful achievements requires more than just a burst of energy at the start. It requires a sustained effort, the ability to adapt, and the willingness to keep going even when the results are not immediately visible. One of the key reasons why success takes time is that true mastery in any field requires practice, learning, and growth. No one becomes an expert or reaches the peak of their potential without going through a period of learning and development. In fact, some of the most successful individuals in the world didn't achieve greatness in a short span of time. Instead, they spent years honing their skills, building their knowledge, and persisting through difficult times. It is this slow, steady process of growth that transforms us into individuals capable of achieving great things. The path to mastery involves failure, trial and error, and ongoing improvement, all of which take time. Time allows for the development of resilience, which is crucial for long-term success. When we encounter challenges, failures, or setbacks, it is our ability to persist through these difficulties that determines whether we ultimately succeed. Resilience is a muscle that we strengthen through adversity, and it takes time to build. Every time we overcome a challenge, learn from a mistake, or adapt to a new situation, we become more resilient and more capable of handling future difficulties. This resilience is what enables us to push forward when things get tough, to continue working toward our goals even when the progress seems slow, and to stay focused on the bigger picture rather than the temporary frustrations of the moment. In addition to resilience, time also provides us with the opportunity to refine our strategies and approaches. As we continue on our journey, we inevitably learn what works and what doesn't. We begin to understand our strengths and weaknesses, and we become better at recognizing the steps we need to take in order to achieve our goals. This ongoing process of learning and adapting is a key part of why great things take time. Each day we invest in our goals, we accumulate knowledge, experience, and insights that help us refine our approach and make better decisions. This iterative process of improvement ensures that the end result is not only worthwhile, but also sustainable in the long run. Another important aspect of time in the journey to success is that it helps to build the relationships, networks, and support systems necessary to achieve great things. Whether we're building a career, starting a business, or working toward a personal goal, the relationships we cultivate along the way play a significant role in our success. These connections often take time to form, and they are strengthened through shared experiences, mutual trust, and collaboration. As we continue working toward our goals, we attract the right people into our lives who can offer guidance, support, and opportunities. Building these relationships takes time, but once they are established, they become invaluable resources that help us on our journey. The passage of time allows us to develop a deeper sense of self-awareness. As we face challenges and obstacles, we learn more about ourselves, our values, our motivations, and our true desires. This self-awareness is essential for maintaining focus on what truly matters and for making decisions that align with our long-term vision. It's easy to get caught up in short-term distractions or to be swayed by the opinions of others, but the longer we stay committed to our goals, the clearer our sense of purpose becomes. Over time, we gain a better understanding of what is truly important to us and why we are willing to put in the hard work necessary to achieve our goals. It's also important to acknowledge that great things take time because success is often the result of compound efforts. The small, seemingly insignificant actions we take each day may not produce immediate results, but over time, they add up to something far greater than the sum of their parts. It is through consistent effort, whether it's making small improvements in our skills, building healthy habits, or gradually expanding our network, that we eventually reach the point where we can achieve our goals. Success is not a result of a single monumental effort. It's the accumulation of many small efforts made over time that lead to extraordinary results. Patience is a virtue that is often overlooked in today's fast-paced world where instant gratification is the norm. We are conditioned to expect quick results, whether it's from the food we eat, the entertainment we consume, or the products we purchase. However, the most meaningful and lasting achievements are those that take time to cultivate. Whether it's a successful career, a fulfilling relationship, or personal growth, the process of achieving these things requires patience, persistence, and time. The ability to delay gratification and stay focused on the long-term goal is what sets successful individuals apart. from those who give up too soon. The idea that great things take time also speaks to the importance of enjoying the journey rather than solely focusing on the destination. It's easy to become fixated on the end goal, constantly measuring progress by the distance yet to be traveled. However, when we learn to appreciate the journey itself, the growth, the challenges, and the small wins along the way, we develop a deeper sense of fulfillment and satisfaction. Success is not just about reaching the finish line, it's about the person we become in the process. The time we invest in our goals shapes who we are and teaches us invaluable lessons that we carry with us throughout our lives. Success is rarely immediate, and great things truly do take time. The journey to achieving our goals is filled with challenges, setbacks, and learning opportunities that require patience, resilience, and consistent effort. It is through the passage of time that we build the necessary skills, develop self-awareness, and strengthen the relationships that support our success. The key is to stay committed, trust the process, and remember that every step, no matter how small, is bringing us closer to our desired outcome. The great things in life are worth the wait, and they are built on a foundation of time, effort, and unwavering determination. Success is a constant process, and one of the most critical aspects of that process is consistency. It's not enough to have talent, intelligence, or even a great idea. Without consistency, those advantages can quickly become irrelevant. Success demands that we show up every single day, whether we feel motivated or not, whether the results are immediate or delayed. The truth is, success doesn't come from occasional bursts of effort or moments of inspiration. It's built on the foundation of regular, consistent actions, repeated over time, that add up to monumental achievements. The concept of consistency isn't just about showing up. It's about doing the right things repeatedly with focus and purpose. Many people believe that if they work hard for a short period, they will see rapid results. However, what most people fail to realize is that the most successful people in any field are those who maintain discipline and consistency over long periods. It's the daily, deliberate actions they take, no matter how small, that lead them to success. Whether it's getting up early to work on their craft, investing time in learning new skills, or simply making the effort to push through obstacles, it's this consistency that makes the difference. Consistency is particularly essential because it helps build momentum. Once you start taking consistent actions toward your goals, you create a snowball effect. Each small step you take builds upon the previous one, making it easier to keep going. You start to see incremental progress, and that progress fuels your motivation to continue. It's not always about making giant leaps forward. It's about making steady, reliable progress that keeps you moving in the right direction. This consistency allows you to build habits that support your success, habits that become second nature over time. One of the key benefits of consistency is that it enables you to overcome the inevitable setbacks that will come your way. The road to success is rarely smooth, and there will always be challenges, obstacles, and failures along the way. However, consistency gives you the strength to keep going when things get tough. When you have built a habit of consistently working toward your goals, you are less likely to give up when things don't go as planned. You will have the discipline to keep going, to pivot when necessary, and to learn from your failures rather than letting them stop you. Consistency also builds trust, both with others and with yourself. When you consistently deliver high-quality work or show up day in and day out, people begin to trust you and depend on you. This trust is invaluable in the business world, in personal relationships, and in any other area of life. Consistency shows that you are reliable, dependable, and committed to what you do. It communicates to others that you are someone who can be counted on, which in turn opens up opportunities for growth and collaboration. On a personal level, consistency builds trust in yourself. The more consistently you show up for your own goals and dreams, the more you begin to trust your ability to succeed. You start to believe that you are capable of achieving great things because you have seen yourself put in the work day after day. Another powerful aspect of consistency is its role in improving performance over time. It's easy to assume that success comes from an occasional burst of brilliance or a rare stroke of genius. But the truth is that consistently practicing your craft, even when it feels mundane or repetitive, is what leads to mastery. Consistency allows you to refine your skills, expand your knowledge, and develop your talents. The more you practice something, the better you become at it. This is true for every field, whether it's sports, music, business, or personal development. The top performers in any industry are the ones who have put in the most hours of consistent practice. They didn't become great by taking a break every time they faced a challenge. They became great by continuing to practice, refine, and improve day after day. Consistency also enables you to maintain focus on your long-term vision, even when short-term distractions arise. In today's fast-paced world, distractions are everywhere. We are constantly bombarded with new information, tasks, and opportunities. It's easy to get sidetracked and lose sight of the bigger picture. However, when you develop the habit of consistent action, you train your mind to stay focused on what truly matters. You learn to prioritize your goals and eliminate the distractions that don't align with your vision. This focus allows you to keep your eyes on the prize, no matter what's happening around you. Of course, consistency doesn't mean mindlessly repeating the same actions without reflection or growth. It's important to consistently evaluate your progress, adjust your strategies, and learn from your mistakes. However, the key is that you don't let setbacks or failures derail you. Instead, you learn to view them as part of the process, as stepping stones toward your ultimate success. Consistency is about maintaining the discipline to continue moving forward even when the results aren't immediate or the path isn't clear. In the end, consistency is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It's the difference between wishing for success and actually achieving it. While anyone can have a great idea or a burst of enthusiasm, it's the consistent effort that leads to true success. Whether it's building a business, pursuing a personal goal, or developing a new skill, consistency is the key to overcoming obstacles, improving performance, and achieving lasting success. The great thing about consistency is that it's within your control. You can choose to show up every day, put in the effort, and make progress, regardless of the circumstances. Success doesn't depend on perfection or genius. It depends on your ability to keep going day after day until you reach your goals. So if you want to achieve success in any area of your life, remember that success demands consistency. Commit to showing up, doing the work, and staying focused on your long-term vision. The results may not come overnight, but with consistent effort, you will eventually see the fruits of your labor. The key is to trust the process, embrace the journey, and understand that success is built on the foundation of consistent, purposeful action. Building a strong mindset is a crucial aspect of achieving success and personal growth. It's the foundation that supports everything else in life, from how we approach challenges to how we view ourselves and the world around us. A strong mindset doesn't develop overnight. It's something that we must work on consistently, challenging our limiting beliefs and adopting healthier, more constructive thought patterns. To develop a strong mindset, we must be willing to make difficult choices, push through discomfort, and embrace the process of growth, all while maintaining focus on our long-term goals. A strong mindset begins with the power of self-belief. When you believe in yourself, you set yourself up for success because you have a deep, unwavering confidence in your ability to overcome obstacles and reach your goals. Belief in yourself helps you to silence the negative voices that often tell you that you aren't capable or that you will fail. It empowers you to take bold actions, even in the face of uncertainty. This belief doesn't mean that you'll never face self-doubt, but it allows you to keep going even when doubt creeps in. The ability to bounce back from setbacks is what distinguishes those who succeed from those who give up. Another crucial aspect of developing a strong mindset is the willingness to embrace challenges. Most people try to avoid discomfort, fearing that it will lead to failure or frustration. However, a strong mindset understands that challenges are not something to be feared, but opportunities for growth. When you face a challenge, you are forced to step outside your comfort zone and learn new things about yourself. Challenges push you to be better, to improve, and to find creative solutions. A strong mindset views failure not as a setback, but as a valuable learning experience. Every time you fail, you gain insights that can propel you forward. Rather than viewing challenges as roadblocks, a strong mindset reframes them as stepping stones towards success. Perseverance is another key component of a strong mindset. Success often requires sustained effort over a long period of time, and during this time you will encounter obstacles, moments of doubt, and times when progress seems slow. It's in these moments that perseverance becomes essential. Perseverance is the ability to keep going even when things get tough, to continue putting in the work when you don't see immediate results. Without perseverance, it's easy to give up when the going gets rough. But those who persist are the ones who ultimately achieve their goals. Perseverance is about maintaining your commitment to your goals, even in the face of adversity, and trusting that your efforts will eventually pay off. In addition to perseverance, discipline plays a critical role in strengthening your mindset. Discipline is the ability to stay focused and consistent in your actions, even when motivation wanes. Motivation can be fleeting, but discipline is what keeps you moving forward when your energy dips. A disciplined mindset helps you avoid distractions and stay committed to the process, even on days when it feels like you're not making progress. It's about doing what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel in the moment. Building discipline takes time, and it requires you to make conscious decisions to stay on track day after day, even when the journey feels difficult or overwhelming. One of the most important aspects of a strong mindset is emotional control. Life is full of ups and downs, and it's easy to be swept up by our emotions, whether they are positive or negative. However, emotional control is about learning to respond to situations thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively based on how we feel. When you develop emotional control, you gain the ability to stay calm and composed in stressful situations. You are less likely to be swayed by temporary setbacks or frustrations, and you are more able to think clearly and make rational decisions. This emotional resilience allows you to handle the inevitable challenges that come with working toward your goals without letting your emotions dictate your actions. A strong mindset also involves a growth-oriented perspective. Those with a fixed mindset believe that their abilities and intelligence are static, that they are either good at something or they are not. On the other hand, a growth mindset embraces the idea that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and practice. A person with a growth mindset is always seeking ways to improve, and they view failure as a natural part of the learning process. Instead of giving up when they don't succeed at first, they keep trying, refining their approach, and learning from each experience. This mindset encourages continuous improvement and ensures that you are always striving to become the best version of yourself. One of the most powerful ways to strengthen your mindset is to surround yourself with the right people. The people you spend time with have a significant impact on how you think, feel, and act. If you surround yourself with negative or toxic individuals, it becomes more difficult to maintain a positive and growth-oriented mindset. However, when you surround yourself with people who are supportive, motivated, and driven, you are more likely to adopt those same qualities. Positive relationships provide encouragement, feedback, and a sense of accountability. The right people in your life will inspire you to be better, push you to pursue your goals, and remind you of your potential, even when you doubt yourself. In addition to positive relationships, self-reflection is essential for developing a strong mindset. Taking time to reflect on your actions, decisions, and progress helps you identify areas where you need to improve and areas where you are excelling. Regular self-reflection allows you to assess your mindset and make adjustments as needed. It's important to be honest with yourself about your strengths and weaknesses and to take responsibility for your growth. By reflecting on your experiences, you can learn from them and use those lessons to become more resilient, focused, and determined in the future. A strong mindset is also about maintaining a positive attitude, even in the face of adversity. It's easy to become negative when things aren't going your way, but a positive mindset allows you to see challenges as opportunities, setbacks as lessons, and failure as a necessary step towards success. When you adopt a positive mindset, you are more likely to take proactive steps toward your goals rather than being paralyzed by fear or negativity. A positive attitude gives you the energy and motivation to keep going, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. Developing a strong mindset requires a commitment to growth and self-improvement. It's not something that happens overnight, but rather something that you build over time through consistent effort, perseverance, and self-reflection. A strong mindset is a key factor in achieving success, as it empowers you to push through challenges, stay focused on your goals, and maintain belief in yourself even when things get difficult. By cultivating a mindset that is focused on growth, discipline, and emotional control, you lay the foundation for achieving greatness in all areas of your life. Success starts with the way you think, and by strengthening your mindset, you can unlock your full potential and achieve your dreams.